And I didn't get any of that recorded.
No.
So we're not going to have a pre-credit sequence.
Colin had a problem and a microphone to spare. Thomas took it up and so the podcast went to air. For weeks and months they trolled through every single DVD. They've unwrapped all the ones they can and now they're cellulose free. Now they're cellulose free.
Hello, dear listener, and welcome to Cellulose Free. My name is Colin, and with me as always is my fellow film watcher, compadre and son, Thomas.
Hi, hello.
What have you been up to?
The project continues.
The project is afoot.
Yep. I'm doing a lot of web dev, and at some point I need to do a bunch of JavaScript, and It's
a bit hard when we don't have a coffee machine in the house.
Yeah, that's the trouble.
We don't even have a kettle.
Yeah.
There's one in the shed. I did hang on to the old kettle, just for emergency's sake. But, yes.
Yeah.
There's a couple of tea bags, but...
They're not for tea.
That's a whole different kettle of kettles.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I don't really have much to say here.
So you're web deving.
Yep.
Okay, so I've learnt something today.
Yep.
I've gone from being completely clueless as to your project.
Well, I said it was an internet thing.
Of state significance. But now, right, so there's some web deving.
A lot of difficult structure and style and script.
Right.
The 3 S's of web dev.
Why don't you just use Squarespace?
Because, well, for starters, Squarespace costs money.
It does. And they are not our sponsor today, so...
I sort of like to roll my own stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, hopefully eventually it's something and not just a proof of concept.
Uh-huh.
Which I haven't even fully proven.
Uh-huh. Do you have a domain name?
No.
Right.
No, at some point I probably will, but
I
want to make sure the thing works before I outlay for another domain.
Yeah, fair enough. Huh.
Because I'm not sure I want this one on
the internet.
On my main domain.
You're going for the dark web here.
No.
It's going to go on the dark web.
Yeah, at the moment it's just sitting as a secret subdomain on my website, which,
Yep, so we could just keep on putting random things into your domain name with a slash in front of it, on the off chance that we might stumble upon your hidden...
I said subdomain, not folder. It's before.
Okay, sorry.
At the front.
Sorry.
In front of the tansar.au.
I'm completely exposing my ignorance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
No. Hopefully, eventually, it's something. At the moment, it's a bunch of lorem ipsum and.
Oh, wonderful!
Yeah.
Sweet.
A bunch of lorem ipsum and a placeholder header, which also needs some work done. I
speak fluent lorem ipsum. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm still sure that it is going to be an online light bulb selling web page for the dark web to brighten it up a little bit.
I regret to inform you that it will neither be on the dark web nor sell light bulbs.
Okay. Hey, but it was a good idea. Bing!
Was it?
Light bulb moment. Yeah, ping. What have I been up to?
Yeah, what have you been up to?
Apart from fixing the Sting episode to get rid of those pesky 2 dead spots that I cannot explain why they were there, but they were well and truly there. They were just things that had been trimmed back with nothing in between. Right. And for that to happen with the way that I edit, it's really, really weird, because I have it so that if there's a gap, it'll bunch up as I'm going along.
Yeah.
Sometimes I switch that off when I'm shifting things around, but I don't recall ever moving anything from that spot. But, Yeah, but it is fixed. So the new and improved and 100% sparklier episode of The Sting is available on
audio platforms,
but not on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because Slacker over there in the other booth.
Well, you can do...
Fortunately, he can't throw things at me.
Like, some channels can do alternate audio now, but sort of
they
need
have
to be
to
in
have
the bigger leagues.
Yeah, we're almost there, but not quite. So I fixed that.
Yeah.
Today I went for a wonderful walk.
Yeah.
On a local beach in brisk 6 degrees Celsius weather, watching the swimmers race into the water and then hear screams of shrinkage and
It's always fun when you ask Google for a 5-day forecast and it says, from today until Sunday it will be cold with lows of colder. Like just the same temperature all the way through.
We're definitely heading into winter now.
Yeah,
winter is coming, but there were probably at least a dozen, maybe heading towards 24 people I saw swimming and frolicking in the water, and so it varied between the serious distance swimmers. And the others who were doing the bracing cold run in, get under, and then pretend it's wonderful, and then race out to their towels. But took some photos. One of the big research vessels happened to, I was going to say what, do you still say sailing? Sailed by? Yeah. I guess so, even though there's no sails. Yes, research vessel sailed by, and so I got some shots as it sailed past one of the lighthouses in the River Derwent. So that was good. Yeah. I must admit that I haven't been out terribly frequently. It's been a while since I've been out, and it was good. So I need to make a more conscientious effort for my mental health. Get out into the great outdoors. Yeah, that's what I've been up to. We have a film to watch.
We do.
We're going to watch it. Mm-hmm. Roll the tape. Oh, hang on. No, there is something we need to say. So, Thomas, what are we watching today?
We are watching, at the request of one of our dear listeners,
who is now suffering from fear and trepidation,
The Station Agent.
Yeah. I do believe that I had heard of it, but this is indeed one of the suggested films from our broad range of dear listeners. So, dear listener Helen has suggested this. Would you tell us what it's all about? Without shaking the case. I'm working with amateurs here.
Have you looked in a mirror?
Oh, ow! Harsh. You're lucky we're in separate booths or I'd throw something at you.
Finn McBride, a loner with a passion for trains, inherits an abandoned train depot in the middle of nowhere, a place that suits him just fine because all he wants is to be left alone. But that is not to be. Soon after moving in, he meets Olivia, a distracted artist, and Joe, a friendly Cuban with an insatiable hunger for conversation, who parks his hot dog truck right next door. With absolutely nothing in common, they find their isolated lives coming together in a friendship none of them could foresee.
Wow. So, dear listener Helen has, spoiler alert, in one of her comments, said that she's now, well, the way she wrote it was very much along the lines of now nervous that it's as good as she... Well, she can't even recall whether it was good. We will get to those comments a little later, but we're going to get Thomas to open the case. He's going to take the disc out. He's going to stick it in the machine, and we're going to cross our fingers that this second-hand disc actually works. I had a quick look at the business side of the disc, and it seems to be unscratched, so fingers crossed. We shall watch it and come back and we'll talk about it. So we shall catch you on the flip side.
Turn to side B.
Is that siding B?
It might be siding B, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good, you mongrel. So what did you think?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Fairly reasonable film.
That was good.
Just the mundanity of life, innit?
Yes, the mundanity of the mundaneness of the life, but the complexity as well, and the interconnectedness of people who are resisting to varying degrees, I guess, the friendships of other people, and letting people in and not letting people in. And
the connections of people resisting connection.
It was an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
About a minute under an hour and a half long. So 89 minutes long. And it packed a whole heap into that. Mm-hmm. And yet the pacing was not rushed.
No.
But it also wasn't plodding. It's tight. There were shots that were held. And if they'd been held for 1/10 of a second longer, that would have been too long. But they were held longer than other films would have held them. And it was just right. Solid film.
Slow, but not in the way that I usually dislike.
Indeed. It was certainly shot incredibly well.
Yep.
The angles of the camera and the sense of scale. I mean, when you're dealing with someone with the stature of Peter Dinklage, it was deliberate as far as the camera angles were concerned to give a sense of space around him. And
a lot of sitting down with people, because his particular form of dwarfism only really affects the proportions of limbs.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting down, you look about the same height.
But there were occasions, and I do not mean this in any form of pun, he was quite often dwarfed by his surroundings. And yet he filled his surroundings in so many really, really important spots. It's an incredibly emotional, powerful movie, and there was a great amount of humour in it.
Yep.
It is comedic, and yet none of them were low shots. It was just a well-written, well-filmed. Soundtrack was great.
Yeah.
And I noticed, probably with about 10 minutes to go, that my face was aching because it had been doing so much smiling that the humour in it would only occasionally get an actual outburst of laughter for me. But I was constantly finding myself just smiling. You know, there is some tough and really sad stuff in this film, but it still had that undercurrent of hope and happiness, and things will be all right, I guess. Spoilers.
Yeah, I got a bit of the face aches here. Yeah.
But, I mean, I say spoilers, but it certainly ends abruptly and with unanswered questions and, you know, how is this going to turn out? But it ended at the right spot too. I don't know what else to say about it.
No.
But Helen, I am very, very grateful and definitely worth a watch.
I'm a little less enthusiastic about the film, I think, but yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it was an independent film, but it had that independent vibe to it, which can be a really, really strong blessing for a film. All right, then. Do you have anything else you have to say about it?
No.
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 If you get a chance, check it out. Let's move on.
The following segment has no title. Thank you.
A little light on in the comment mines today.
Yes.
Which is fine. People are welcome to comment or not comment as they please.
That's right.
We will start over on Discord with Entuosferatu.
Hello, Entuosferatu.
Who says, Prince of Thieves contributing to the 90s mega hit ballad credits song.
Ah, yes. You've got to have a ballad. Definitely got to have a ballad. I should point out that as for the rest of the soundtrack, I have had that going through my head all week. Even this morning, I woke up with a fanfare from it, and I'm getting a little tired of it. It's an incredible earworm. Whereas Bryan Adams, he has not appeared in my mind either, so I don't know. Is that a blessing or a curse? Maybe I need to flush out the fanfares with a bit of anything I do it for you. No, okay.
He continues, to address my guess from last week, the available explanations are that A, I can't count, or B, I meant Top Gear driver The Stig.
Yes. We're all getting used to the changed format.
Yeah. Over on Facebook, Helen.
Hi, Helen.
Says, I'm sure I've watched this, referring to Prince of Thieves, but barely recall it. Maybe I should watch it again. The trouble is that there have been so many Robin Hood things, including I am not a merry man.
I am not a merry man. Yes.
And now I am very nervous about next week's episode. I've only seen The Station Agent once, and it was on a plane, I think, so I may have been sleep-deprived or jet-lagged or both. But I remember thinking that Colin might be interested in it, or at least that I'd be interested in knowing what he thought. I can see me gnawing my fingernails for the next few days.
No, it was a good suggestion, and I'm very grateful for it.
Which will, it turns out, take us up to the guesses.
It does.
We had 2 unique guesses, and they're both reasonable guesses, I'd say.
Yes.
Entos Ferrati says, for this week I'm trying to channel my inner Colin, and also count correctly, and go with Robin Hood Pot. RBNHDPOT. And Helen says, I shall go with Robin_HD for my guess, which is the high-definition version.
Yes, it is the high-definition version.
They are, indeed, both very good guesses.
However,
they are both wrong guesses.
They are. I went for, and I think it echoes back to my old traditional 6-letter days, ROBNHOOD.
Robin Hood.
Yes. So, no indiscriminately dispersed, what do we call them? Points or...
Arbitrary.
Arbitrary points. None whatsoever. I get them. They're all mine.
Right.
Yes. All the arbitrary points belong to us.
Yes.
Yes. Good. All right. Well, we shall move on then.
Pick a film for next week so we can go to bed. So you still holding on to it being your turn?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes. So I am going to...
Saves me the trouble.
In fact, I am picking one from our My Movies database, Shaking of the Phone, but I didn't shake the phone. I suddenly got an urge to watch something, and it just so happens it's on your list of things on this list that you wish to watch.
Okay.
So that narrows it down a lot, doesn't it?
It does.
So what do you think it is?
No idea.
No idea. It stars Harrison Ford.
Okay.
And it also stars Gary Oldman.
Uh-huh.
And Glenn Close.
Okay.
Good. All right. Let's get to the plot synopsis and see if you can guess it from that. In his most powerful role ever, I'm not convinced, Harrison Ford is the President of the United States in the must-see blockbuster action thriller of the year. Aboard the presidential plane...
Ding, 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 ding. I was like, I think this might be Air Force One.
It might be, indeed, Air Force One. Oh, my goodness. I hit the more to see the rest of this plot synopsis.
Goes on and on.
And it's a novel.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bother reading the rest of it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Next week, we are going to watch Air Force One, starring Harrison Ford as the President of the United States. We hope that you can join us, but until then, we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
You have been listening to Cellulose Free. Your hosts were Colin, who produces and edits the show, and Thomas, who makes the artwork and music. Cellulose Free is recorded in the Deranged Cat Studios in scenic Tasmania, Australia. We keep track of our extensive physical media collection through My Movies, which we highly recommend. You can find links to that, as well as other places you can find us, in the show notes. Cellulose Free is a Hi Hello production.
I think that must be the shortest episode of Hey Caramba.
What's it saying?
24:55.
Oh boy.
Quick, sing a song.
No, we have things to do. I don't think it was even the crunch, to be honest. We just ran out of things to say.
Yeah. We're actually no longer talking. That is the thing. Yes. Daniel is actually transferring this conversation between us.
Yeah.
Tell Thomas.
And tell Colin.
Which is a real problem because the recording booths that we are individually in are at either end of the house.
Yeah.
And he's having to run back and forth.
Yeah, I'm sitting at my computer right now and I can type whatever I want.
Tell Thomas. I'm going to hit stop now.
Tell Colin that sounds like a good idea.
Okay.